What's good, YouTube? It's Nas and we back with another video. Road to 900 subscribers, of course. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Toronto Raptors. And to start out the season, I was a firm believer in the Toronto Raptors. Like, if you could go back to probably November or December, I was talking about how the Toronto Raptors were perfect, or they were a great team. And they've fallen into a spot where they don't want to be in. Like, there's a chance that they can fall all the way to the 10th seed, and that would just be disappointing, and that would just be sad. In which a season which had high expectations, obviously you traded for Brandon Ingram last season, and you were playing some great basketball for the first couple months of the season, and then ever since December or January, you just flipped the switch and you just became this borderline team in which I'm pretty sure every team that is currently in the top 5 right now would want to play the Toronto Raptors in a playoff series. Like, I'm pretty sure if we look at all the teams throughout the top 10, I feel like we would look at the Toronto Raptors and say, yeah, we could beat them. And I even see Toronto Raptors fans even turning their backs on their team. And when you look at it, it kind of makes sense. And when you look at the Toronto Raptors scheme, you look at obviously a fast-paced offense, and you look at your number one option in Brandon Ingram, who has really been struggling to go get a bucket, in which in the last 2 weeks, Brandon Ingram has only scored 20 plus points once. That can't happen if you're the number one option. And the game where they lost against the Kings was just sad. And I know Brandon Ingram wasn't playing in that game, but Scotty Barnes was, and Scotty Barnes was struggling to get his game off. And when you look at Scotty Barnes, I get it. He's one of the best defenders on the planet right now, but you can't ignore his offense. Like, no matter how much you want to put it, Scotty Barnes isn't a good three-point shooter. Scotty Barnes is a rim runner, and when you build that wall, it is hard for him to obviously go get a bucket. And I really do feel like he has the same, if not let's say this, he has the same, or if not a worser bag than he did in his Rookie of the Year season, when obviously he won that award over Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. But when you look at Scotty Barnes and you look at the future of the Toronto Raptors, you just look at a team that I see that has no true direction. And when you look at pairing Brandon Ingram with Scotty Barnes, you looked at obviously people in the offseason just doubting you, saying that this is the most obvious play-in team ever, in which a season where you started off great and you're looking at, yeah, what were y'all talking about? We're a great team. Even you had me believing it. Like I told y'all, like, I made a video talking about them in November, talking about how good of a team they were, and then for them to be on this late game terrible stretch they've been on since basically January, it just sucks to see, because they were once a top 4 seed. They were once a team that the NBA believed in. They were once a dark horse team, and for them to go from that all the way to the top, from all the way to the bottom, it just sucks to see if you're really a Toronto Raptors fan. And you look at Scotty Barnes and you're just wondering, or you're assessing what his future would look like with the Toronto Raptors if they don't go further than what they do this season. And obviously, we know Scotty Barnes is a franchise cornerstone of this team, but you wonder if the sell high aspects will happen if the Raptors potentially go to the play-in game and they lose in the play-in game. And I'm not even saying that to be negative on Scotty Barnes, because I'm a big Scotty Barnes believer. Like, I made multiple videos talking about how Scotty Barnes has improved this season, in which I feel like in this late game stretch, or these late game stretches, like, he just transformed and flipped the switch back into his last season self, which doesn't make sense to me. Like, this season, Scotty is averaging 18 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting 50% from the field. And overall, it was a bounce back season until these late games after February, if that makes sense. Like, he was an all-star this season. Brandon Ingram was an all-star this season. Like, I talked shit about Brandon Ingram, or I really wasn't talking shit, it was the truth. But this season, BI has been the healthiest he's ever been. He's averaged 21.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, shooting 47% from the field and 37.5% from the three, being an efficient number one option. Maybe you don't want your number one option only scoring 21 points, but you also have the addition of RJ Barrett, who obviously came back from his injury sometimes. And RJ, we know what RJ Barrett is at this point. He's an inefficient shot chucker. Like, when RJ Barrett is on and he's getting to the left hand and he's getting to the rim, that's when he's at his best. But when he's shot chucking threes, when he's taking too many threes, and when he's missing, like, it just looks like an abysmal watch when you're looking at a player that needs the ball in his hands to really be successful. And RJ this season is having a great season, or a good season, I'd say that. RJ this season is averaging 19 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists, shooting 49% from the field and 34.5% from the three. So overall, a good season for RJ Barrett. So why, if your three best players are scoring above 18 points, why isn't this working? And when you look at Jakob Poeltl returning from his injury, since he's come back, like, the Raptors have been a semi-decent team. Kyler Murray boys, when he was a starter, like, they were playing some good basketball, which their 5-man lineup, I felt like was a good lineup. And as soon as Jakob comes back, it turns to shit. But maybe I'm looking too deep into this. And Kyler Murray boys was injured to start out the season, and he has been a great rookie for the Toronto Raptors, and he could potentially be a franchise cornerstone too, because I don't see how much longer you can keep him on the bench for his defense, and how much better he can get on the offensive end, and obviously his offensive rebound. He can play the small ball center for Christ. Like, come on, bro. But when you're looking at the Toronto Raptors, you're looking at a team that basically fell off. Like, if they fell off hard. And I feel like when you're talking about the top teams in the Eastern Conference, like, we just completely ignore the Toronto Raptors at this point, even though they are still a top 7 seed in the Eastern Conference, and they are still technically fighting for the 5th seed, and there's still a chance that they can move up. But I just don't understand how you could go from that high to this straight. Like, it's like the Drake started from the bottom. Like they started from the top and they went straight to the bottom. Like, I don't know how you assess this Toronto Raptors season. Like, obviously I see it as disappointing if they potentially miss the playoffs or miss the play-in. I think a major change has to happen. Like, there's no way that they keep this same old roster if they potentially lose in the play-in. But if they make it to the playoffs, I wonder, do they still move off of some pieces on this roster, because you just don't know if you can contend with this current core. Or we know they can't contend, but this is supposed to be a group of stars that can honestly, or Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram, like, they were supposed to be a dynamic duo in which Eastern Conference team could potentially face them, in which a season right now on April 6th, I just don't see any Eastern Conference team being afraid of the Toronto Raptors. But maybe after this video, they'll turn it around. They'll flip back into the switch that they were in the beginning of the season. Or maybe they'll continue this disappointing path and potentially miss the playoffs, or even go back in seeding and go to the play-in tournament. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Toronto Raptors down below. Do y'all see them being a top 6 seed? Do y'all see them in the play-in? Or do y'all see them being outside the play-in? Or, I'm not saying outside the play-in, but basically the 9th or 10th seed, or falling all the way back? Y'all let me know down below. Subscribe. What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And there's a video right here. I'm pretty sure you're going to like it if you like this one. And the channel icon's right there if you want to just check out the channel in general. And yeah, leave a like too, because it really helps the algorithm push me out. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching this video nonetheless.